In continuation of the last videos on periodic properties of BSc Part 1 in organic chemistry, in this video we are going to study about factors affecting electronegativity. Electronegativity of an element depends on many factors. Let's take them one by one. First, effective nuclear charge. Increase in effective nuclear charge increases the attractive force for a bonding electron pair. Thus, increase or decrease in effective nuclear charge affects electronegativity in like manner. That is, effective nuclear charge increases, so electronegativity increases, effective nuclear charge decreases, so electronegativity decreases. The next point is oxidation state. An increase in the oxidation state of an atom increases its ability to attract electrons. That is, with increasing oxidation state, electronegativity increases. Thus, we can say that an element will have greater electronegativity if its oxidation state is high, and will have low value of electronegativity if its oxidation state is less, or we can say it has low oxidation state. For example, acidic character of the oxyacids of chlorine increases with the increase in oxidation state of chlorine. Increased tendency to release proton is a consequence of increased oxidation state. Thus, increased electronegativity of chlorine because now chlorine attracts the OCl bond pair between oxygen and chlorine to itself to a greater extent, making the oxygen atom electron deficient. Consequently, the bond pair between the OH, the pair is shifted more towards the oxygen atom, facilitating the release of hydrogen as proton. Thus, HClO4 is the strongest acid and HOCl the weakest. Now, if we consider the oxidation state, we see that HOCl has +1 oxidation state of chlorine, HClO2 has +3 oxidation of state of chlorine, HClO3 chlorine is +5 oxidation state, and HClO4 the oxidation state of chlorine is +7. Due to the increase in oxidation state, there is increase in electronegativity, thus acidic character of the acid increases. Now, we come to the next factor, that is atomic size. The valence electrons of a larger atoms will be attracted by weaker force, that is, the effective nuclear charge will be low for the larger atoms, and for smaller atoms the effective nuclear charge will be high. Thus, electronegativity is higher for small sized atoms and low for large sized atoms. The next factor is hybridization state of atom. Electronegativity increases when S character in the hybridized orbitals increases, because S electrons can penetrate more towards the nucleus, and thus the bond pair is attracted to a larger degree by the nucleus in case of overlapping of orbitals have greater S character. For example, if we consider the compounds of carbon, that is, if we consider the carbon having different hybridization sp3, sp2, sp, then sp3 the S character is 25%, sp2 the S character is 33.3%, and in sp the S character is 50%. So, we see the electronegativity of the carbon goes from for sp3 2.48, for sp2 2.75, and for sp 3.29. Thus, the electronegativity of carbon increases as the S character in the hybridization orbital increases. Similarly, if we consider nitrogen, then for nitrogen the electronegativity is 3.68 for sp3 hybrid orbitals in hybridized orbital state, and 3.94 for sp2 hybrid state, and 4.6 for sp hybrid state. Thus, here in nitrogen also we see that the electronegativity of nitrogen increases as the S character of the hybrid state increases. The next we come to periodic trends in electronegativity. Variation of effective nuclear charge and atomic radii affect electronegativity. An increase in the effective nuclear charge and a decrease in the atomic radii increases the attractive force, that is Z effective of the element. First, let us take variation in a period. Within a period, electronegativity increases with increasing atomic number. This is consistent with the increase in effective nuclear charge and decreasing atomic radius in going from left to right. Thus, in a particular period, the alkali metals are the least electronegative element, hence they are the most electropositive and metallic, while halogens at the right end before the noble elements of the period are the most electronegative and hence least electropositive and most non-metallic. Within the second and the third periods, the change value is regular as expected, but in the fourth, fifth and sixth period, this variation is not regular and there is only a slight gradation or change in the electronegativities of the transition elements. This is attributed to the fact that there is very slight difference in the effective nuclear and atomic radii throughout or transition series throughout a transition series. That is, if we consider the transition series, then among the transition series there is very less slightly change of effective nuclear charge and of atomic radii. Another deviation is the lower electronegativities of zinc, cadmium and mercury than their preceding elements, that are copper, silver and aurum. This is due to the considerably larger size of zinc, cadmium and silver than copper, silver, this is due to the considerably larger size of zinc, cadmium and mercury than copper, silver and aurum. That is, size of zinc is greater than copper, size of cadmium is greater than silver and size of mercury is greater than aurum. The approximate constant electronegativity values in lanthanides is expressed by the approximate constant values of effective nuclear charge and atomic radii of lanthanide elements. Now, let us see variation in a group. In a group, electronegativity values decreases from top to bottom as the atomic radius increases in going round from top to bottom in a group. Thus, in a group, the lighter elements coming at the top are the most electronegative and those elements at the bottom are the least electronegative. However, among transition elements in a group, the electronegativity values increases for the second members and there remains the same for the third members of the group. While gallium is expected to be less electronegative than aluminium, this is due to the intervention by transition metals between calcium and gallium. Now, let us take applications of electronegativity. First is nature of band. When two atoms of equal electronegativity combine to form a band, when two atoms of equal electronegativity combine to form a bond, the bond pair will be equally shared between them because electron attracting tendency is equal in both the atoms. Thus, HH, ClCl and OO may be considered as pure covalent bonds. But if one atom has a very strong tendency to attract the electron towards itself than the other atom, then the electron pair between them is shifted towards it, that is, towards the atom having the greater electronegativity, and thus ionic nature is introduced in the covalent bond. For example, cesium fluoride. If we consider cesium, it has the least electronegativity value and fluorine, it has the highest electronegativity value. Thus, when cesium and fluorine combine to form a compound, then the compound cesium fluoride has the maximum ionic character. Cesium develops partial positive charge and fluorine develops partial negative charge. Behavior of compounds depend on the nature of chemical bond. Physical and chemical properties of almost all the compounds can be interpreted with the help of the differences in electronegativity. Mostly the bonds are formed between atoms of unequal electronegativities, but the difference is not sufficient enough to cause ionic bond between them. Hence, no atom is capable enough to take complete control of both the bonding electrons, though the bond pair is slightly shifted towards the more electronegative atom and consequently the molecule develops partial charge separation and acts as a dipole. Now, we come to the ionic character in the covalent bond. Pauling proposed that there is a direct relationship between difference of the electronegativities of the two atoms and ionic character in the covalent bond between them. The ionic character for covalent bond is given on the basis of the dipole moment. Percentage ionic character P in covalent bond is calculated by the following relationship as proposed by Smith. P is equal to 16 within the brackets xa minus xb plus 3.5 within the brackets xa minus xb whole square. Now, if we see the graph, then it is clear from the graph that the ionic character is less than 50% for xa minus xb, that is the electronegativity difference between A and B is less than 1.7, and the ionic character is equal to 50% for xa minus xb, that is the difference of the electronegativity between A and B is equal to 1.7, and the ionic character is greater than 50% for the xa minus xb, that is the electronegativity difference is greater than 1.7. Then the next application is calculation of bond length. When a covalent bond is formed between the two atoms of different electronegativity, the bond length between them is found to be shorter than the sum of the atomic covalent radii. Shoemaker and Stevenson took the electronegativity difference into consideration and proposed the following empirical equation for the calculation of bond length. Actual bond distance is equal to Ra plus Rb minus 0.09 Xa minus Xb, that is the electronegativity difference, where Ra is the atomic radius of A, Xa is the electronegativity of A, Rb is the atomic radius of B, and Xp is the electronegativity of B. 0.09 into x within the brackets Xa minus Xb, that is the third term of the equation, denotes the shortage in the bond distance caused by the electronegativity difference, that is, it is the difference between the actual bond length and theoretical bond length obtained by the summation of Ra plus Rb. Then the next application to be explained by the electronegativity is reaction mechanism. The explanation of nucleophilic and electrophilic mechanism of reactions is based on the assumption that separate centers of positive and negative charge exist within a molecule. These centers arise due to the differences of the electronegativities of the atoms. The next application is nature of oxides. The nature of oxides of an element may be determined on the basis of the differences of the electronegativity Xa of the element and that of the oxygen X0. If this difference is 2.1, exactly equal to 2.1, then the oxide will be amphoteric, and if the difference of the electronegativity between the element and oxygen is less than 2.1, then the oxide will be acidic, and if the difference between the electronegativity and of oxygen and element is greater than 2.1, then the oxide will be basic. And according to Gallus, if we see that if the electronegativity of an element is 1.7, then the hydroxide of the element MOH will be amphoteric. If the electronegativity of an element is greater than 1.7, then the metallic hydroxide will be acidic, and if the electronegativity of the element is greater than 1.7, then the hydroxide of the element MOH will be basic. That's all for today. Thank you.